Hello friends watching the video. I am ms.welding. Do you know what cold welding is? Whenever we think or talk about welding, we consider it in the same lens as heating. The very first thing that comes to mind in a discussion over welding is the use of thermal energy to heat and weld metal objects together. Most welding techniques work by heating metals to their melting point, and then joining them together to create a fusion that doesn't just last longer but is also more durable and functional. All welding techniques such as friction welding, arc welding, laser welding, and ultrasonic welding involve heat in one way or the other. Heat is considered a necessary addition to the welding process, and makes the process easier to follow. However, what we perceive and believe about welding is far from the truth. Cold welding is one very popular form of welding that works without the need or the presence of heat. To simplify the process, cold welding is the rather effective procedure of joining two metals without the use of thermal or heat energy. To the naked, untrained eye, this entire procedure might sound a bit too unbelievable to be true. But cold welding is a big part of the welding industry, and there is no way to deny that. History of cold welding. Cold welding might sound like a relatively new concept to you, but it has centuries of history behind it. Excavators studying relics and extracts from the past have found out utensils that were welded together through cold welding techniques. Some of these utensils date back to the Bronze Age, lending proof to just how old the concept of cold welding is. While cold welding has been practiced by citizens of the world since a long time ago, the first scientific experiment on this technique was conducted by Reverend J.I. Desagaliers in the year 1724. This experiment was the first of its kind and helped propel further research in this regard. Desagaliers tested the concept of cold welding through the use of two lead balls. Both the lead balls came with the same diameter and were observed carefully. What Desagaliers did was to hold both these lead balls together and then exert pressure while twisting them. When he did this, Desagaliers noticed that the balls would stick together. This was the first scientific test of its kind and opened the doors towards the science of cold welding. Further testing in this regard went on to prove that the bond formed after the pressure was applied had the same strength as that of the parent metal. Hence, the bond formed between the lead balls had the same strength as that of the lead balls themselves. This proved that the weld could be trusted and wouldn't just fall apart abruptly. Cold welding has been an interesting subject of science, and many budding scientists and researchers have shed light on it. We now have over a dozen theories looking behind the formation of this bond. Some of these theories pinpoint and focus on recrystallization, while others have also credited the energy hypothesis for the weld. However, all of these researches have been discredited and disproved due to a lack of sufficient evidence. The only acceptable explanation for the creation of the weld through cold welding is the formation of a metallic bond. The metallic bond carries the same characteristics and strength of the parent metals, because it is formed due to the interaction between the free electrons and ions of both metals when they are pressed together, and a certain force is applied to exert pressure. Cold welding, when done with the right material treatment and procedures, can help create a significant weld that sticks for a long time. This, however, can only happen when the weld in between the metals is just as strong as the parent metal itself. This strength and sturdiness can only be achieved if all due procedures and treatment methods are religiously followed.